Hello, everyone. Oh man, we have some nice numbers here today. This is gonna be a long one. This is gonna be a good session. It's gonna be a 1 hour demo. We're gonna try to go through everything. I'm loving the engagement in the chat already. So this time, I'm pretty sure almost everyone here is familiar with my face by now. It's great to see some recognizable names. So this is going to be a little bit different because, of course, it's just going to be me talking and give you guys the demo. However, this is going to be more of an interactive product demo. So what I would like to see is some engagement, some questions. We have our support manager here as well to help with any technical questions that you guys have. And to kick things off, we're going to start with a poll. So what I want to understand is, the number of people that have used user guiding before. So do you have any experience with it? Have you started the trial, or is your company using it and you're trying to understand how to utilize it better? I want to understand what you guys are interested in this session. So this way we can tailor the 1 hour demo here today to answering all your questions here. So yeah, we have a good number of people that have used user guiding before. I would say the majority. Perfect. Never used, but started trial. So awesome. So this demo, we're gonna go through a full overview of all the tools and of course the use cases. My name is Jude, and I'm part of the user guiding team, and I'm very excited here today to walk you through all of this. So whether you're just getting started or you're looking to sharpen up your onboarding game, so you're in the right place. This session will be recorded, so you can watch it again, or you can share it with your colleagues if there's multiple people working on user guiding here. So today we're going to walk you through all the features. So from when you start signing up, how the dashboard is going to look like, where you can get started, and how the installation process goes. And you can set up your personalized in-app experiences and turn your product into this whole self-service machine, of course, with zero coding. So yeah, we can get started. As I mentioned, my name is Jude. Very glad to be here and walk you through this product demo. So yeah, just to go through what is possible with user guiding, and no matter how you're using it today, I'm sure there's always a more enhanced and advanced way that you can implement user onboarding, increase feature adoption, or if you want to implement the self-service with the new tools that we have, like the AI assistants. I'll walk you through all the integrations so it can all be a cohesive, you'll have a cohesive ecosystem of self-service onboarding. So a little bit of the agenda. So what can you achieve with user guiding? We'll go through that. What are the use cases? How can you use it, utilize it? You don't have to use it for everything, but honestly, from my experience, you can use it for everything. And most of the time, we kind of talk to product managers about implementing user guiding, but actually it goes through with cross teams. So if you're a product manager, of course, you want to enhance the user experience that you have, but also it's not just about communicating the product. Other teams can use it as well for marketing, for support, the self-service support tools that we provide, customer success. It's very versatile. We'll go through the user guiding panel overview. So of course we'll go through and display how it looks like, where you can navigate, how to navigate it, and create your guides, create your material, and maintain it. And how to get started with user guiding. So we'll talk about the installation, the different ways that you can install it, the Chrome extension. So this is the builder. We'll go through how it looks like, what you can do with it as well, and how to build your material. Then we'll go through the self-service tools that we have. So this is a combination. It's not going to be the focus of this webinar, but I'll show you how all these tools, you can integrate them together to create this like cohesive user experience. And of course, the analytics, you want to get feedback, you want to understand how the users are engaging, is it working, is it not? And then how you can, quantify it, how you can personalize the material using user segmentation, and then, the next steps. Yes, the session will be recorded. Please bring down all your questions and we'll answer them together. So what can you achieve with user guiding? So there's 4 main components, I would say personally. Before I continue with these components, one thing that I want to kind of share with you in order to envision what user guiding is capable of doing is essentially what we've provided is basically like Lego blocks, right? We give you the Legos, we've built the Lego blocks, and we give them to you, and then you're able to create any user experience that you want. So it's not limited at all. It's up to your imagination. The sky's the limit. But the most common use cases for them are, of course, the user onboarding, first of all. So you want to display real value at first glance. And as we've talked to many product managers, the first initial, I think 7 to 10 seconds of your new user experience with your platform is the most initial and crucial part. So you want to make sure that you're optimizing it to the best of its abilities, because then it's going to relate with their retention, their adoption with your platform. Second is, of course, promoting the adoption and the features. So it doesn't stop just at onboarding. You want to promote your product is going to grow. You want to communicate these features with your users and keep them engaged, right? So as long as they're interacting with your platform, and your platform, of course, it's changing, it's developing. You want to continue sharing this information with them, getting them to understand the features, and optimizing and adapting it to the best of their abilities. And then providing, of course, self-service support, so you can offer interactive and educational content with some of the tools that we have. So, for example, we have the AI assistant, the resource center, product updates, knowledge base, and all of these are integratable together. And you can create this communication path between your users and yourself. So by gathering feedback, you can improve their experience by understanding, how was their experience? Is there anything that would change? And there's lots of different ways that you can do that. So just a quick overview as well of the tools, basically. We have the guides. This is like the bread and butter of user guiding. But as we're growing and developing, of course, we're adding new tools to it as well. With that is the hotspots. This is great for feature release, icons. If there's any help part that you think your users are struggling with, you can add those to gather feedback. We have the surveys, and the checklist is a part of the onboarding as well. Knowledge base, resource center, some product updates, which acts as like a change log, and the AI assistant. Of course, not limited to the usage of all of these. So these are the tools that you would get access to when you start the trial and you want to continue with user guiding. You have access to all of this, and of course, customization is above and beyond. You can take it to a much advanced level later on, but right now we're going to stick to a little bit of the basics, so this way you can have a strong foundation and understanding of what user guiding is capable of. So let's jump into it, right? So I will be sharing my screen right here. So if you've had a demo call with one of our salespeople, you're probably familiar with this as well. This is our playground. This is publicly accessible, so you can go to playground.userguiding.com later on. So this way you can engage with the different use cases that we have. And this is basically it's a demo site where you can engage with the tools that we've built for you. So this way you can have an idea of what they can look like. Got the product tours, the checklist, the resource center, hotspots, announcements, and surveys. So as an example, when I click on one, I'll have a modal display. And this is like a little pop-up. Everything is customizable, the theme, the color. You can add the image here, and automatically you can set it to go to next when they click on it. And this is a tooltip. So tooltips can also be interactive. So not just by clicking next, but this one, for example, it can go cross pages. So over here, it's telling you, okay, you can click on orders. So when I click on order, it's going to take me to this orders page, and it's going to continue this product tour, continue this experience, and it's highlighting those important information that you want to display for your users in order for them to become a power user and understand, the goal that they would want to achieve on your platform. Adding GIFs is a fun way to do it as well, so it doesn't get boring. As I go through this demo, of course, I'll also share some best practices. So one of them is, for example, you don't want to bombard your users with too many steps in the initial onboarding process. Right? You can highlight important tables, get them to understand what is the value of this. Right? Some of them can be interactive, some of them could be informative by clicking next, and then at the end you can always add some customizable buttons to create different actions. We'll go through the settings of all of these, but just to give you an idea, this is what the guide, essentially the guide tool that we have, looks like. Instead of going one by one with each case, I'm just going to focus on each feature. So when you log into the user guiding panel, so this is what you're going to see. Right, you'll see the analytics dashboard here. So this is an overview of the interactions of your users with the user guiding material that you've created. You can set some goals, have some impact reports. Over here, you'll have the list of all the users. All right, we'll go through details with all of this, but you can also add and send attributes for further customization and to understand your users. So here in the engagement part, we have the guides and the hotspots, and you can create your theme. So the theme is, the colors of your company, the branding, how you would like it to display for your users. And what we have here, let me just double check this is the right one. 1 second. We have a couple of guides, you can filter them out. All right, so these are our active guides. We have some guides that are in checklists, some guides, that are for different use cases. But when you begin with user guiding, to create the material, for the installation part, it's 2 steps. One is installing the Chrome extension. So over here, actually, let me create a new guide. For example, we're going to use this page as an example. So let's go, welcome to user guiding. For example, this is the guide that I want to have at the URL of where I want it to display. And it will take me directly to that page and open the Chrome extension. You can download the Chrome extension from our help or from the Chrome store, and you can begin building the material. There's also it's also usable on Windows as well, Microsoft. So any Chromium browser, so not just Chrome. And this is the Chrome extension. So this is the builder. This is how you can build the material. You can change it from left to right. We have the modals, and you get some templates with it. So this way you don't need to start from scratch, and you can get some ideas of where to get started. We can begin with a welcome modal. All right, you have the image here. You can upload or insert an image using uploading a file or an image URL. You can change the height, the dimensions, alignment, add a hyperlink. So if they were to click on it, if you wanted them to go to a different page, some padding, or if you want to delete it. And change the wording, of course. You can add an emoji as well. I'm a big fan of emojis. If you've seen my emails, let's go with like a party. We can go with this one. Nice, welcome to our platform, and get stuff done with the algorithm. You can center it, right? And you can have a requisite button, so automatically when you're creating steps in one guide, so one guide you can think of it as like this. It's a overview of an experience, and within that you can add different modals and different tooltips. Right? You can remove it, or you can add it, or you can even add different buttons. and elements here. So you have text if you want to add some more text, an image, a hero text as well, a video, another button. So let's say, for example, book a demo as an example, and you can make this button have different actions. So it can go to a next step, or you can use any of these actions as well. So it's very customizable, whatever you want to use. I have some examples later on to show you, but yeah, it's very customizable in encouraging the users to take next steps or encourage them to click on a call to action. Oh yeah, HTML and a list of guides, other guides. And within the modal, within the guide settings, so you can choose if you want your users to be able to interact with the rest of the page or not. So this way, they can't click anywhere else. If you want to include, this requisite button or not, you can have a dismissal option. So it'll provide an X and where you want the modal to be placed. So right here, automatically it's set to the center, but you can have it, for example, bottom left, and you can save it. And as a tip, you can use the preview to show and display it the exact way that your users might see it. So because we changed it here, right, it's showing like this. You can change the theme. The theme I had is set to like an orangey brown color, and you see we have the X here and the do not show again button. Let's say, for example, I'm going to centralize this again. I'll save it and preview it. It's not the best, right? But this is just to show you how it can look like, different customization. From these settings as well, you can remove this. These are the steps. And you can also remove the branding later on. If you want it to be bigger, smaller, you can change the design of it. If you want to add a backdrop shadow or remove it, the X icon, quit icon, and some advanced settings for display, delaying the display. So if you want it to be delayed by like 3 seconds, or if you have a pop-up, you can show it after they scroll down. And let's say, you're happy with this modal, this pop-up looks great, but then I want it to go to the next step after. You can click on plus step, and you can, let's say you want to choose a tooltip, and in the same way you have different templates. Some of them have the button to go to the next step, and some of them are the interactive one. So this is the click element, right? And when they click on that element on your page, this is where it will take them to that next step. I like this one because it has an image to it. It's much easier. And when I click on it, right, as you see my cursor on the mouse, I'm able to highlight the elements. So let's say, for an example, I wanted to click on rolled and change here. So this is the rolled tab. I'll save it, and let's display it again. It could show something like this. Now let's say I want it to display on this whole element. I will reselect it, right? If it's not showing this way, then you can click on up, as you see from the navigation bar, and it'll display it. And if I preview, you can display it this way. And the settings are very similar, actually. If your element, if you want to be more precise, you can use custom CSS selector. So this way you can add the class ID, and whenever you change, if there's any changes on the platform, it will still follow that ID that you've selected. Very similar interactions. If you want to interact with the page, the highlighted area, if you want to go to the next step based off of the button or the element. Let's say, for example, you want to change and you don't want it to be the button, it could be the element. I will save it again, right? So anytime I click here, it will go to that next step. And the same way, you can have a dismiss option, and you can have an auto tooltip placement or custom, right? So let's say I want it to display at the top left. It's not going to look the best, right? But this goes to show that you're able to customize it however you want. Same thing with the design is very similar, right? So in the Chrome extension here, the builder, you're able to customize it, play around with it. If you want to remove the backdrop, drop shadow, quit icon, and the same with the display, right? So it's just going to blend with the background. Now, once you've completed the guide, right? Let's say you're happy with it. You can keep adding more steps, right? Add more elements here and there, right? Now it shows you like 3 of 3, right? Even here it shows you that it's the third one. And let's say you're happy with it. Then when you go back to your panel, let's go to guide here. Just checking if we have any questions. We have a lot of engagement. All right, 1 second. Oh, we had the filter on. So you'll see the guide that you've created here. You can go to the setting of it and set with the customization. Now, you can't activate it before installing user guiding. So the installation process, you go to settings, installation, and there's different ways of, this is the only time you will ever need any coder assistance. You can email it directly to your developer, but as long as you just copy and paste this to the header of your open source JavaScript, then that's it. You can activate it. It basically, user guiding acts as this layer on top of your platform. This has to be added to the pages wherever you want it to display. But other than that, you don't need any coding developer assistance at all. This is the only time that you will need any assistance for this. And you can embed it. They can embed the container code manually. So when you place it to the head section of your source code, but of course, like, this doesn't change any of or alter any of your platform performance. You can also add it through Google Tag Manager if you have, or also in WordPress sites. So once that is added, that's it. You can say, all right, thanks developers, we don't need you anymore. I can take it from here, and any of the content that you create, you can easily activate it. All right, so once it's active, you still have to save and publish, but you can still go through the settings. So you have page targeting. So let's say you want it to be specifically on this page that we've created it on. You can keep it this way, or you have different tools. So you can target multiple pages or exclude specific pages. Audience segmentation. So this is another thing that we'll talk about, which is you enabling user identification. So it is a part of the installation process as well. Let's discard it here. So in the first part of the installation is adding this code, right? But you still see that we're only like 50% there. You could still activate the content and make it display. However, the user information will still be anonymized, right? For security and privacy reasons, we still want to understand who specifically is interacting with what. So this is another thing that you can ask your team is, hey man, like I would like to understand, who is interacting with this guide that I've created, and they can share and enable the user. So this way, you're passing the user information from your database to user guiding. So this way, you're able to identify specifically, for example, Jude logged in, for example, yesterday, and she activated this guide and she completed it. And a part of the user identification code is here as well. There's lots of different ways that you can enable it. We have lots of great help articles that we can share, but almost all aspects in the panel, we have hyperlinks to our articles. So this way, you don't need to try to figure it out yourself. But in case you want additional information, you can send this page to your team and they can get it done. And essentially, any information that you have stored from your user, it could be like eye color, anything really, like country, age, persona type, all of this. Any information that you have stored, you can request to send it to user guiding. So this way, these act as attributes, and based off of the attributes, you can segment them, create segments. So one of the most common use cases is, for example, platforms that have free trial. So you have free trial users, you have paying users, different types of advanced users, power users. No matter how you identify them, you can still have those sections. And then when you create guides, right, you can target that specific segment. One thing we do as well, very common, is by language. Like, if we want to just target um, people in Brazil, right, Portuguese, you can do that by creating a segment and then selecting that segment specifically. Let's see if we have. Oh, we don't have Brazil. But yeah, essentially you can do that as well. Trial users or new users, for example. We have triggering. So how often you want it to be shown. Auto trigger, essentially it means when they log in to the page, how, do you want it to display automatically, or do you want the user to take an action for it to be displayed? So if you want it to show automatically, you can set it this way. You can have different appearance frequencies. Of course, you don't want it to show all the time. Some of you probably saw if you've logged into the panel, you probably registered to this webinar through one of those pop-ups on the panel. So this one, for example, it was an auto trigger of, I guess, only once a session. And yeah, this way it kept displaying, and you can also set a scheduled time for testing if you would like. Basically, these are the main components and the settings of the guide, and it's essentially the same for almost all the tools. You can localize it if you have different languages, and in the editor, when you click here, it takes you back to this page, right? So let's say I activated it, and right, we have all users set. Let's set this always. Right, and when you click always, you do have some other settings to stop the triggering. I will save and let's publish it. And if I've published it, right, should be okay. And I do a hard refresh here, right, it's displayed. So that's how easy it is. This is the whole guide. Right, let me click here, go there, voila. You have an active guide. I've completed it. And when I go back to, let me refresh it here. You can also have the report of how many people saw it, engaged with it, completed it, who engaged with it, who completed it. And this number one is me. So as you see, we have like 3 different steps. See, the last one is not completed because I clicked on the exit, so it wouldn't display it as being completed. But you can, of course, export a lot of this data and information to CSV, or you can integrate it with our integration partners. We have HubSpot, we have Mixpanel, lots of information there that you can send over. Essentially, this is an overview of the guide. It's very, very versatile. So it's not just for onboarding, for any new features, announcements, banners, right? One of the examples that I love showing is, let's go to the modal again. For example, this one, you can ask them about, 2 different personas. Would you like this or would you like that? And each button can activate a different streamed experience, right? It becomes a little bit more personalized. And we have some banners as well. So this is one of my favorite ones as well. It's just the campaign banner. It's so easy to create and customize and just put it out there. Yeah. I'm gonna get back and check on the chat, the Q&A. Lots. I hope Sima is doing a good job with answering them. Lovely. Awesome. So moving forward, for the guide, and for each guide, of course, you can see a more detailed information when you click on it. Right, you can see that once you've enabled user identification, you can see specifically who saw that specific guide or who completed it. But then when you go back to the performance here, you have this overview of analytics. So just to understand, to give a little background on the analytics and a little bit overview. So what you can see here is the monthly active users. So this is the total number of unique visitors that are coming to the platform where, within 30 days, wherever you have the code, the container code installed. And MAUs can be counted in two ways. One, it goes back to this user identification part. So what if you do not enable user identification? That means it's counting sessions, basically it's counting sessions and not specifically unique users. And so this can lead to a little bit of an increase in the number here. But then when you enable user identification, it means that you've specified, no matter how many times, for example, I log in and I've engaged with that guide, it will still display me as one user. That's one of them. Then we have this contents tab here. So over here you have this overview engagement of all the guides, and these numbers are from, I believe, the past 7 days. And when I click on hotspots here, it's going to display similarly. And you have the total interaction number. And when I click on it, I have more details about the users who've engaged with it, right? And for the guides, it would display total seen, total completion, and then the completion rate. Same thing for all of them. Once you get used to one of the features, it's very easy to navigate to the other ones. This is the line chart here, so it shows you that guide performance either on a daily basis, right? So yeah, so this is daily over the past 7 days, on a weekly or monthly, and then you can set the days right here. And you can see the top performing content or the lowest performing content. So if I click on guide, all right, so these are the top performing ones. And it's great because it gives you insight as well, right? So you're able to understand, which ones users are engaging with successfully from start to finish, and it could, be a good example of the content structure that you're providing, or topic relevance, and then for the lowest ones as well. So you can change it. Maybe it's unclear. Maybe you can, make it a little bit better and review it as there's room for opportunity. Now, we've talked about the guide. Same thing with the hotspot. It's extremely similar to it. So let's test, create a new hotspot here, new feature. Right, and we can use the same, let me cancel this one. We can use the same link and confirm. All right, I'm gonna disable that guide that we created just so it doesn't keep showing up. Oh, there's still people taking the polls. I'm gonna thank you everyone that participated. I'm gonna stop the poll here. And for the ones that we do have a significant number of people that did not, use user guiding before. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that as well. Yes, let us in the configuration and disable it, save. And you have to publish the changes. You have to have these 2 steps because you can make a lot of changes, save it, but then, you can publish it all at once. All right. So let me go back here. In the Chrome extension, you can build the guides the same way that I've shown you, and you can build hotspots as well. It's in a very similar fashion. So this is the one that we created. Right? It's blank. You can create right? You have different settings as well, different templates. And honestly, the hotspot is one of my favorite tools. So this is, for example, a new feature one. And in similar fashion, it's the same as, adding a tooltip or highlighting it. Let's say I want it to be in the, let's go in progress. I want to add it right here. You can change the text, of course. Check out our new feature. This will help you accomplish more in less time. I'm not going to add any changes here, but just to let you know as well, the button is fully customizable and you can change the action of it as well. All right. You can run a different JavaScript, close the hotspot, go to URL, dismiss it, trigger a guide. So this one is important. And this is another way of integrating the tools. So if you've created a guide, but you've removed it from auto trigger, you can still use it in custom trigger. So this is one of those examples as a custom trigger. So I can select trigger a guide, and we can have it, be triggered from this one. I do have to activate it, but then I can remove it from being auto triggered, and I can track the button event as well. So how many people are clicking on it. So I can save it. And in the settings here, in the same way, you can highlight it with the button, or you can use the custom CSS selector, dismiss option, the content size, so this box size, interaction. So this is really cool as well. So you get to set how you want your users to interact with the guide. So the one that I like the most is the automatic one that shows, it's just when you hover over it, it displays this little box. But you can have it, for example, if we can go through them actually. So when they click on it, it can display it. The hover beacon, this is the automatic one. If they hover over the selected element, so the button actually stays invisible. I'll show you how that looks like. Or if the mouse, the cursor stays on it for a long time, then it will display. Let me go back to the settings here. You can have it open by default, right? So it'll pop up. So this way you're grabbing the user's attention as soon as they log into this page. And you can change the beacon style as well. So you can have it, the information, question, default. So let's say this is a part of the platform where you're getting a lot of questions about it, or maybe users aren't engaging with it as much and you want your users to adopt it more. You can add a little question icon here, and you can change the colors of it, make it pulsing. Yeah, or you can turn off the pulse once it's interacted with, change the color, the size, the Z index, and where you want it to be placed. So I'll save it here and let's preview it. So it would look something like this. Super cute, right? I've interacted with it, so it stops the pulsing. And you can, of course, make the button bigger, make it smaller. Right, let's say I want to change it. Let's go to hover over selected element. So it, makes it disappear. But whenever I hover over here, right, it's going to show this little pop-up, this guide. And if I click on it, it'll display this, the guide that we've created earlier. So this could also be, a way of pushing users to understand what is this latest update? What is this feature? What can I do with it? And especially if you created an interactive guide, then you're not only telling them about it and informing them about it, but you're actually pushing them to interact. So it becomes like a muscle memory. It doesn't become very, foreign to them to interact with. So this is like one of the best examples of, increasing feature adoption, getting the user to understand, what are the changes, what are the updates that are happening, and enhance increasing retention as well, especially if they've adopted it, they like this new feature. How are we doing in the chat? Cool. Lots of content here. All right, and in the similar way for the hotspots, right? This feature that we created, same exact configurations. So you can change the name, add where you want it to be displayed, the audience segmentation, how often you want it to appear, if you want to schedule it, right? For example, you want to test it for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for a month, you can do that. And if you want to have different languages, so you can localize it as well. For the themes, you can create any theme that you want. Like it's really customizable. Change the color, remove the branding. You would have to update the plan, upgrade it, but you're able to do that, so you can whitelist it and have a full customization. But let's say this is not enough for you. You have a high standards for customization, then you can always use CSS as well. Right, change the text, the hotspots display, and the automatic language that it would show. Cool. Just quickly, All right. So we talked about the installation, Chrome extension, and building your material. Now we can move forward to the self-support tools that we have. So the engagement tools that I've displayed, right? You have the guides, the hotspots. We still have the widgets. So we have the checklist. This is great for onboarding. And if you've tried user guiding, you will see that we ourselves have implemented an amazing onboarding, like a really personalized onboarding. So this way you get to select exactly which use case you're interested in, and then the checklist that would be displayed is, in like coordinate with the thing that you selected. So to show you what an active checklist looks like, let's go back here to the playground, to the use cases. I will disable this for a second. Oh, oops. Wrong one. All right. Onboarding checklist. So you can have it display here, right? And when your users click on it, you have these different guides. So as I mentioned, you can remove the auto trigger, but you can still create custom triggers. And when they click on it, it'll activate the guide. You can, get them to understand some information, get them to, understand what to expect from this guide. Some of them are, displaying these tools here. As I showed you, it's the same guide from previously. Right, and then once they've completed that guide, there's a checklist that you can have, so it's check marked. There's a progress bar here, and for the checklists, you can create multiple ones, and as I mentioned before, you can segment them based off of their personas or any user attributes that you have. So for example, if you have you can even A/B test them, to be honest. So as the example that we've been talking about, let's say you have trial users, paying users, power users, or different types of users. So for the trial ones, you would want them to have a different experience from the paying users, right? So the last step could be something like check out, the prices, or book a meeting with us. But of course, within the first couple of steps, you want them to actually first understand what the platform's value is. And you can do that by displaying these guides. And within the guides, as I showed you, you can add and embed different videos. This is just a video to display, and one final interactive guide to walk them through this members tab, getting them to understand, what it can do, what it's about. And then once they've completed all the steps for this gamification and right, like sense of achievement, you can have this animation pop up, so this would understand, like we did a good job, we understood the tool, this is everything that we need, and then you can push them to take those next steps. Now, to create a checklist, so these are the widgets, right? We have checklist and we have the resource center, and again, the settings of these two are very similar, so we can go through. Let's see, the checklist here. Yep. So you have, right, you can change the customization, the colors, the title, if you want to have a progress bar or not, if you want to have a dismiss option or not. And here you can add different items to the checklist. You can have guides and you can have page URLs. So same guide, we can go with the one that we created. Right? This shows an error because we deactivated it. But once you've activated it, then they can interact with it, and you can set different ways of when you want it to display the check. So it could be either when they've completed the guide, the steps, or if you've set a goal and that goal is reached. And this is a part of those user attributes that you can send. So it could be user attributes or action attributes. Let's cancel this. Yeah. Right. And for customization, you can just have it display the text, have an image, upload, or you can select any of the image launchers. You can have both if you would like. change the wording of get started. For example, your guide. The size of it, where you want it to be positioned. So if you want it to be on the bottom left, that's you can do that as well, right? And actually, let's have it active. Let's go back to our page here, right? I want it to display here. Let's save, go back, and right, we want to display here, all segments, all users. We have different appearance settings. So if you want it to be open by default, so this way the users don't have to click on it, it will open automatically. You can hide it, have it dismiss once they've completed it. Another thing that you can do is you can have like multiple layer of checklists. So this way you can like take the onboarding to the next level and gamification. So you can have like a bronze level, silver level checklist, and then a gold level checklist. So, you know, practices from Duolingo in gamification. You can have it trigger only from the resource center, schedule it as we talked about, and over here I can activate it, save, and publish. Awesome. So over here, if I refresh it, right, it should display here. But let's activate that one. Change the setting, active, save. You see how easy it is? It's just 3 clicks. And you have a full onboarding experience. You have interactive guides, elements, without any coding. I don't even know how to write code. And I just added a checklist. I created a guide, right? And you can take your user experience from 1 to 100. That's how easy it is. Same thing with the analytics. You can have an overview of that specific checklist, analytics here, which items they've interacted with the most, and the items are in the checklist. Same thing with the resource center. Now, the resource center, personally, this is my favorite tool. So in the same manner, we can create it here. You have the preview, so this is how it would display. And let me show you how we have it here as an example. So this way you can see like everything that you're able to add, how colorful it is, all the different elements that you can incorporate. The reason why I love this tool so much is because for 2 reasons. One, it's in the application itself. It's unlike any external help or knowledge base sitting outside of your app. This is where your users would want to have access to support most of the time. It's inside your app. So one thing is you're displaying it inside the page, inside the application. You can have this display on all the pages or on relevant pages. The second thing is it does not take any space. Like, I don't even know if you've noticed where it is. It's basically this little tab here. So when I click on it, it has so much information that you can incorporate. So this way your users have everything within their hands. So here's where you can add different elements. You can integrate. Basically, this is like the modal, right? You have different modules over here. You can integrate a guide. So within the guide, you can incorporate a video and have the buttons to, of course, set them to different actions. You want them to take them to another page, you can do that. Or you can keep them on the platform. You can add a checklist. So this is another thing. If you have different progresses, you can have different checklists, multiple checklists. As we talked about, like this bronze, silver, gold kind of ranking for this gamification. And right, once they've completed it, you can still have this checklist, and it will still display like, you've only completed 1 out of 3. You can still continue more. You can add different folders, and within those folders have different material, different URLs. So this one, you can display inside. It's a completely separate page, but you can still have it display within the window here in iframe. And same thing here with the success story, right? And if they want to have this, bigger look, you can do that as well. Some feedback, so you can also have some pop-ups of surveys, right? 10 out of 10, best onboarding, definitely best digital adoption to the platform. Right, so you're collecting this feedback without interrupting your user's experience, and lots of different ways, lots of different things. Other pop-ups, display, discounts, campaigns, information. So what we have here for this one, this is actually the latest article for the product updates. And you can integrate this, right? Over here at the bottom, we have 4 different elements or tabs you can add. So this is the homepage. You have the product updates here, right? You can always have them display in like the external page right here to read more. You can integrate it with the knowledge base, right? So this is a sample knowledge base I created as, for example, Spotify, right? And they can still go through here. And the coolest thing is they don't even need to be here actually. Like, let's say search for help, Spotify. It doesn't show here because it's not embedded, but you can still display it, right? All right, it's not indexed, but yeah, you can still add all the relevant information. If they were to search for anything, it would still pop up and add different videos and elements. Same thing here, they can display in an external page. Spotify did not pay me for this. And then finally, you have the AI assistant. So this is essentially everything that you need for this self-service help that you can provide your users. Because if you have your content, you've built a lot of content, you've built a lot of products actually and different features and cases, you want them to be easily accessible for the user, right? You want to communicate that with your user, and if they're struggling to find it, you can still kind of create a pop-up and nudge them to learn more about it and walk them through those next steps. And to build it is the same way as the checklist. So adding modules, you can create groups. So you have the external URL, the guide, the checklist, a code snippet. So this way you can activate through a JavaScript, and a survey. Change the style of it. So this is a nice new update. You can even have it as like a gradient. Set the launchers differently. Beacon colors. So if there's any updates here, it'll alert them, display it. And these are the different tabs that we talked about. You can have this home, but you can also integrate the knowledge base, product updates, and the AI assistant. So far, so good? Nice. Alrighty. Now, for feedback, same thing with the survey, right? We have lots of different templates here. You can create a new one, add different surveys. It's the same as the example that I had shown you earlier, right? To collect feedback, to better understand users. You can even display one after they've completed their onboarding just to ask, how was it? Did you find everything that you were looking for? Do you understand the tool? Do you not? Right, so these are some of them as well. So if they were to give a rating of 7, right, you can have a follow-up question of like, why did you choose that score? And you have lots of different logic that you can set it with. So for example, let's say you want to get like a thumbs up, thumbs down thing. You can create a logic of, if they've answered this, then do this, right? And you have lots of different actions for it. All the tools, all the features that I've shown you so far, they have, as you've noticed, very similar configurations. And right, the more you segment and personalize, the better results that you will get. And right, in the users page here, this is where you can filter them out. You can send those attributes, right? Language is one of them. So EN, for example, you can filter them out. Language, let's say contains EN, English. Right over here, it shows 5,096 people out of 5,748. So you can say this is English speaking, save as a segment. Oh, we'll have to delete some, but let's go for example, French users, for example. Right? We have some French users because the language is FR. Language contains FR, so for anything, right? Let's say I want this to display to only French people. Custom setting, French. And that's how easy it is. Save, publish. Ça suffit. Good to go. Awesome. All right. I mean, we've reached the end of this product demo. It was a quick overview. I hope everyone found it. You have a little bit more information on what to expect with user guiding. I do have final remarks, right? Some examples, best practices. We have a use cases page. We have success stories pages, so you get to understand how other people are using user guiding, how it's helping them achieve, their objectives. One thing that actually was really funny to see is there was one solution. I have it in my tool. One of our customers. Market Time. This is a new customer success story that we just launched. They saw how we were displaying promoting our webinars, and he thought, oh, this is a cool use case of how to use these pop-ups. So they started implementing the same style that we are doing, having a pop-up on the panel, and they were able to increase their webinar registrations by 10%. Not percent, sorry, like 10 times. So that is one of those cases where you wouldn't think how you're able to use user guiding apart from the usual cases, but there's lots of different ways of doing it. And this is one of them as well. So for the example that I was talking about, if you have trial users, you can also have pop-ups to encourage them, letting them know, hey, you finished your trial, it expired, but click here to check out the plans. Or if you're still unsure or you want to extend your trial, you can click on this button. Also, and this is one of those examples as well. Unico, they were able to reduce their customer onboarding by 70%. So there's also some crazy numbers here of how you can create in 5 minutes an onboarding experience, and it has amazing results. Before we go, I do have one last question. It's a poll. If you're interested in an onboarding consultation call, so we are providing those. It's just like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just to better understand, if there's any space for improvement in your onboarding strategy right now. Our onboarding experts can help you with that. They can take a look. They can understand, what you have so far and how you're able to kind of take it from 10 to 90. And, especially if you're still using user guiding, we have lots of materials for that as well. Awesome. Sima, is there anything else that you'd like to add? You've been great in the support and the public chat.
Hi everyone. So I tried my best to cover everything, but I don't think we're missing anything, and we don't have much time to cover all the questions here verbally. But you can always reach out to us from our channels, and we will help you.
Yes, let me drop the link. For booking a meeting with us. Right. Here you go. Actually, let me add a CTA. That works as well. right? If you're interested, we can reach out to you, or you can book it yourself. That's totally okay with us as well. And yeah, actually, I also do have a. We will send you a form after this webinar ends. After I finish it, in the email, in the follow-up email, there is a form. If ever so kindly, you guys can fill it out and let me know. What you like, what you would like to see more of, any specific cases. What are some things that you're looking forward to when it comes to like onboarding, digital job adoption, an app, interactive tools. So this way we can focus on that and provide you with the information that would be relevant to you. Thank you, everyone. Gracias. And yeah, have a good rest of the week. And looking forward to the next one. We will continue having a lot of webinars and demos and more use cases for that. Thank you, everyone that engaged. And see you in the next one. Cheers.